Warning. This episode of the Weekly Double Down podcast may include some adult language and thematic elements that may not be suitable for children. Listener discretion is advised. Hello, listener, and thank you for tuning into the Weekly Double Down podcast. My name is Cody, and I will be your host today. Here at the Weekly Double Down, we bring you news, leaks, lists, and reviews of all the fandoms in movies and television. I'm really excited for today's guest, my buddy Thomas. He's not home to any podcast right now, but he'll be jumping on and we'll be getting into our top 10 films of 2022. But before we get into the show, let's head on over to the hotspot to catch up on the latest movie news. Welcome to the Hotspot. This is a segment of the show where we bring you the latest and greatest news across the interwebs for all your fandoms for movie and television. This week we have quite a bit of DC news, especially since DC Studios is now officially begun. We should be expecting a slate release from James Gunn and Peter Safran, which should give us most of their plan for the next 8 to 10 years with DC Studios. This includes all of the Justice League properties and everything everything surrounding it. They have come out and said that this will include movies, shows, comics, and video games. So everything will be canon. We should get some more news about the Batman coming up. Matt Reeves has said in a couple interviews that they are heavy into writing the script for the second one, and it is well on its way. And they have confirmed that the Penguin show, which will premiere on HBO Max, starring Colin Farrell as the Penguin, will be leading directly into the Batman 2. In other news, Joker, Folie à Deux is officially begun filming and has finally gotten a working title under the name Juliet. This is shooting since the first film's working title was Romeo. We have seen our first look at Joaquin Phoenix, as it seems to be the majority of this film is set in Arkham Asylum, but we do know that Lady Gaga will be appearing as the Harleen Quinzel. So looking forward to seeing a relationship. Maybe it might even be like a rom-com coming out of them, but it could be a very interesting project for the Joker, and I'm excited to see what it holds for us. That's all for the hotspot this week. I can't wait to give you guys some more news next week. See you then. Alrighty, guys. So we're finally about to get into our best films of 2022. But this is my buddy Thomas. How you doing, Thomas?
What up? Nice to meet everyone.
Really excited to have Thomas on the podcast with me. I mean, I've known this man for like 6-7 years. We go way back. We've been through hell and back together. So he's a real brother, and I'm really excited to share this episode with him, especially the first official episode of my podcast. So really thankful for you to be on the episode with me, man.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't wait to hear what your 10 best movies of 2022 were. So if you want to kick us off with your number 10.
All right, my number 10. A lot of people, I don't think saw it. I'm not sure it actually hit theaters, but I saw it on Amazon Prime. It was like a Prime exclusive, and it is called Emergency. And yeah, a lot of people would probably be surprised with this pick, but I would say that movie actually made me like both laugh and cry. That's the only movie that made me do that this year. Have you seen it yet? Because I know I've been talking about it.
So, I haven't seen it. Like, I got a whole bunch of movies I've been watching for the podcast. It is what I'm watching tonight. I have it in my schedule. I looked at the reviews for it. It's got like a 94% on Rotten Tomatoes, certified fresh. And for an Amazon Prime original, I can't wait to watch it. Yeah, it's got really, really, really good reviews. So, do you want to talk about any of the elements of the film that you really liked, or would you like to not spoil it? It's up to you.
Okay, well, what I would say I liked a lot was the brotherhood between the two main characters. Like, the connection they had as best friends, yo. I thought that shit was real as fuck. So their characters were amazing, and the acting was incredible. I also thought, like, the the lesson you learn at the end of the movie is extremely valuable, and it means a lot to me personally. That doesn't really spoil anything, but it mentions something that actually I relate with on a quite a surprising level.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, it was good.
All right. So
And also,
coming over to me. Oh, what?
it does. That movie definitely does touch on the whole Black Lives thing, and I know a lot of people, were talking about that movement, and it was a huge deal. So check it out if you have Amazon Prime. Definitely check it out. And moving.
Yes, it's all good. Like I said, it's on my watch list. I'll be taking notes on it tonight. I'll probably do a review of it for my blog. But moving on to my number 10, I have my only Marvel entry here at Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. And, this year, Marvel has disappointed me over and over and over and over again. So, fuck you, Marvel. But Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, it is nothing like the first one. But what they did and the way that they honored Chadwick Boseman's legacy, I felt was really great. And also, the introduction of the very first superhero ever, Namor, was absolutely awesome, and I can't wait to see more from him. Have you seen this film yet?
No, unfortunately not.
Oh, you're missing out. You're missing out. It has some of the best female performances I have ever seen, especially from Angela Bassett.
And you're saying this is number one film of the year, and I haven't seen it.
No, this is my number 10.
Number 10. Oh God, I'm tripping. Yeah. Okay, I started with number 1 though. Damn it.
No.
Sorry, I kind of blew the list.
You can give your 10 as your number 1 and then just reiterate it if you want.
You know what? I'll just put it
tell
them. I'm sorry.
However you want to do it, man.
Emergency was great. I'm not that
right, so
picky.
back to you for your number 9.
All right. Number 9 was The Black Phone.
Ooh, okay. You're gonna just list off all the movies I haven't watched, right? And then I'm gonna list all the movies you haven't watched.
No.
Sadly, I have not yet got to watch The Black Phone.
What?
You want to tell me a little bit about it?
For starters, I loved music and how it, kind of gave out throwback, retro vibes. I thought that was really cool, and I thought the concept was very simple. The execution was great. Ethan Hawke is an awesome actor, and the kid was phenomenal. His acting was great. Both the kids, the siblings in the film, blew my mind for such young actors.
I mean, it's really hard to find kid actors that actually do a good job nowadays. Movies, especially movies that aren't geared towards kids, that have kids in them, I feel really screw the pooch most of the time. So finding a kid actor that nails it and keeps a movie scary is just a blessing.
Absolutely. What about your number 9, Em?
So this is the only horror movie this past year that made me shiver, that gave me the chills, and it was Smile.
I'm salty because I've actually been heavy wanting to watch it. Was it spooky, actually? Or was it just, extremely entertaining, not that scary?
Okay, so all the other horror movies that I've seen this year have been, not all, I won't say all, but most of the horror movies I've seen this past year have been really spectacular, just great. Smile didn't do anything extra that is super special or anything. It doesn't break a bunch of horror tropes, but the shots and the way that they use a simple smile to freak you out and make you think you're insane is truly daunting, and I laid in my bed shivering.
There's no fucking way. I heard actually, because I was going out on outings, and one of the movies was Smile, and I decided not to go. and I really regret it because they all came back and they were like raving about it. They're like, "Yo, that shit was actually dope. That was so good." I was like, "Fuck," because I had a free ticket to go. But I'm gonna see that soon. I'm gonna run it up because it's on Amazon Prime. I'll probably watch it tomorrow.
If it's not on Amazon Prime, I'll send you my Paramount Plus.
That would be sick. That's like one of the only streaming platforms I don't have.
But the thing with Smile is like, the way that it was shot, it makes you think you yourself as the viewer is just, you're batshit. And you know me, I will sit down and I watch a horror movie while I'm tripping dick. And fine. And no, Smile, dead sober, had me fucked up.
Okay, I'm gonna watch it alone too. Instead of watching with like the fan, I'm just gonna kick it like late at night, throw on Smile, and give myself a good scare.
Yeah, and turn the lights off too. That's what I did.
It's gotta be dark, man. That's like horror movie 101. No lights, absolutely not. Lights are for the poons.
See, this is why I miss you, man. I don't hear anyone say poon anymore.
Oh my god, that's facts though. I'm probably like the only one. I sometimes bring back like the old slangs just for the geek of it.
I'm gonna start calling you Jerry Springer for that one.
Jerry Springer.
Alright, so now we're gonna go back to you for your number 8.
So for my number 8 was Barbarian. That movie was perhaps the most entertaining movie. However, I think some, like of 2022 in general. But I would say...
Yeah.
Sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. Yeah, this is the first crossover on the list. I have it up a little bit higher than you do, but I agree with you wholly. This was one of the most entertaining films I saw all year.
And I've never really seen much like it either.
I mean, they pretty much made a horror movie on the premise of a Airbnb visit go wrong, but at the same time, it's a horror movie about motherhood. So
it's so bizarre, and I actually love movies that are just so out of pocket bizarre. And I felt all sorts of different emotions. I felt like grossed out by like the nasty antagonist. I felt spooked. I felt like I was, at times I would laugh. I thought the comedic character, I thought he was pretty funny.
Justin Long's character?
Yeah, Justin Long. He would make me so aggravated. He really would, but in a good way. Very engaging.
Yeah, I really liked how they don't just switch your entire view of the movie once by cutting 30 minutes into the movie, which is like a third of the movie, and they switch to a completely new character, but they do it again right at the end, and I'm like, it's awesome, it's amazing, it's beautiful,
However, though, I would say the ending could have been a little bit better, but it didn't really matter. The screen time, the pacing was great. Kept you invested entirely as a movie, and although the ending felt a little bit abrupt and corny, I guess you could say, it kind of actually suited the tone of the film in a bizarre way. It meshed in really well.
After thinking on it a little while, I definitely think Barbarian was probably one of my favorite horror movies of the past 10 years.
Ooh, okay, bold statement. You got to think about that list, man. It's a big list, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's up there. No joke. I would put some of the classic probably mainly up there. I just watched American Psycho, and I thought it was maybe near the top 10. It was good, and I think Barbarian would probably be middle of the pack, probably towards the top 10, but it was good.
Well, I'm talking about only horror movies that have come out in the past 10 years,
Oh, okay.
I'm sure of all time, I think it'd be top 30, maybe.
Yeah, no question. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I could totally see that. Though. Last 10 years, that would be, yeah, perhaps towards the top for sure.
Yeah.
Shit.
All right. So over to me for number 8. I have The Batman. Have you seen this?
Yes, I have
All right.
seen it.
What are your
Multiple times, I think 3
thoughts?
times. Okay. So I knew this would probably fall on your list, given that you're a Batman fan. I think it was good. I didn't really love it. A lot of people hate on me for that, but I still thought it was good. Really, I did. You got to tell me why you think it's in your top 10.
All right. So here. This is the best Batman movie, in my opinion, since Dark Knight. No, since The Dark Knight. I think it is better than Dark Knight Rises and Batman v Superman. I think it beats both of those. Not very hard to do, in my opinion.
Okay.
But I really, really, really liked the way that they didn't go into your typical Batman story. Parents die, this, that, all that. No, they gave you the deeper stuff behind the reason his parents died, and they actually explained the world to you a little bit better. I think they did a really good job setting up the next Batman movies. I agree with you.
I agree with that.
It is not great, but it is.
I agree with that
you know?
because, you're going to have to tell me your cons. And I would say my cons are that it's just, I do like what you said. The narrating is fantastic. Like, it really, takes you on Batman's journey, and you really get to see through his personal lens more. And I really dig that. But I just thought sometimes it felt a little dull for me. And I know kind of the point of Batman is it's like, dark, kind of gloom. But for me, it, sometimes it's hit or miss. And I'm so kind of in love with the OG Dark Knight that it's really hard. I think I'm so fixated on like the superhero movies that when I was that were out when I was a kid, like, really, and I loved the OG one. So I enjoyed Batman, but
Absolutely.
for me, it actually may not make the cut. May not.
I mean, that's fair. I only put this on here just because I thought like it lays down the tools to make even better Batman movies. And I'm right with you. I don't think there will ever be a better Batman movie than The Dark Knight. I don't
There are
think so.
two
I think
things
it
we
might
have to
be
discuss.
impossible.
That's probably gonna be hard to beat, man. But I would say two things we have to discuss are Catwoman and Batman's relationship, and also the antagonist, which are what
I really
Penguin,
wanted to
Joker.
talk about. I really wanted to talk about the antagonist, the Riddler.
Okay. And what's that
have you
actor's name
seen
again?
the Paul Dano?
Paul Dano from Prisoners.
Yes,
Very
yes.
distinct face.
Very, very distinct face. But have you seen the original movie that the Riddler was in, the Batman movie?
With Jim Carrey?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Is that the one with
Okay.
gosh. It's been a minute.
Yeah. So that was a disgrace to me. I hated it. Fuck Jim Carrey for doing that. Okay, I love Jim Carrey,
Completely
but
agree.
he deserves to be shamed for it.
That
I
was
really
bad.
liked the way that they turned the Riddler into someone who is actually menacing. Like, the Riddler is. He used to be a forensic analysis. He knows what he's doing. He's scary. And they did a good job at that.
Yeah, that was a massive improvement
But-
from the old one. Jim Carrey's Riddler was just so corny, outrageous, and annoying. Fuck, he annoyed me. And I do like Jim Carrey as well. It just did not suit the character, and I don't like too much about like their origin stories, but I totally agree. Like I like the darker take, and he was a menace.
He was. Have you seen the? Oh no, that was in there. Did you see the deleted scene with the Joker?
What you mean? I thought there was a scene in the film as well.
There is, but there's also an extended scene between the Batman and Joker.
Oh shit! I gotta watch it. I gotta hop on it.
It's on YouTube. watch it. It might be, it's almost Heath Ledger level of menacing.
Oh, I am looking forward to actually see the entire performance of the Joker in this
I
new
can't
rendition.
wait.
That might be incredible. Who knows? And I'm
Well,
obviously looking forward
earlier,
to Fale,
earlier on
whatever.
the,
Second. Sorry. Hey.
sorry. Earlier on the podcast, I was talking actually about the Batman. The Batman 2 is currently being written by Matt Reeves, and it will. Colin Farrell is getting his own Penguin series on HBO Max, and apparently the Penguin, where that leaves us, will directly tie into the Batman 2. So I'm really excited to see where they take this universe. Like, I feel like they could do really good things with it, or they could do really bad things. So it's a coin flip, but I think Matt Reeves is the guy to do it.
Okay. I believe it could be well executed. Hopefully it is. Also, one more thing about the Batman. What was that? Shit. I forgot.
Catwoman.
Oh yeah, Catwoman and his relationship.
Okay, so what do you think of Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman?
I think she killed it.
Thank you. Okay, good.
I think she nailed it.
I
Absolutely.
have two different Zoe Kravitz movies on my list, so you'll see the other one too.
Okay. And that was the first, I think, time I actually liked any rendition of Catwoman on the screen, the big screen. That was actually
Yeah, Catwoman sucked both times beforehand.
It was god awful, man. So they finally got that shit down
Who
pat.
picks Anne Hathaway as Catwoman?
You know, I did not mind her Catwoman. I thought she was alright. But, you know, I didn't think she had nearly as much depth as this one, or screen time, if I remember
Yeah,
right.
the last Catwoman, they were just like, oh, let's just throw her in there and not really use her, you know? It pissed me off more than anything.
True. The relationship with her and Batman as well was just kind of a bore fest. Believe it or not. I mean, I did
Yeah,
love
it
the
was.
movie. And their chemistry was actually good. They're both phenomenal actors. Yeah, I just think Zoe killed it in this new one. I don't think
Yes.
anyone's gonna be able to top that. I liked her entire story, and I like how they flip flop between both her and Batman, and still too much of Batman screen time.
Yeah, they did. They balanced that really good, and I really like how they gave her a full arc. Like, she progressed so much and became a complete character, but at the same time, they left it open availability for so much more with her. I really liked it. But we have been talking about the Batman for like 7 minutes, so let's move it on to your number 7.
All right. Let's see. So my number 7, 22 is Kimmy. And
Okay, yeah, that's
of the
my
devil-
other. Yep.
Speaking of the devil, yeah, I really enjoyed it, man. It was like a sci-fi thriller and great action flick. I usually don't even watch that many action flicks, believe it or not, nowadays, unless they're usually like superhero films. But that was pretty badass, and I like the pacing and everything. And she just nailed
I
it as
love-
well. Another performance by Zoe Kravitz. You said.
Exactly. Yep, that's my. I have Kimmy on my list as well. Like I said, I absolutely loved it. I think the pacing of that film was great, and the way that they, like, it's not an in-your-face action movie. You know what I mean? It's very subtle, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's not too much with the action. It's not like a fuck fest on Michael Bay fuck fest. I still
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2.
someday, but barely. Gosh, but yeah, okay. Any other things to touch up on when it comes to Kenny?
I will say the way they represent agoraphobia and it being more common than people think, I think was really good because it is a lot more common than people think. Like her neighbor across the street had it, and he ended up saving her because of it. I love it.
Yeah, the plot was great, and the action sequences were actually really well directed. You could actually tell what's going on. Really good camera shots, and just I like the artistic vision. What do you got at
Steven Soderbergh.
Who is that?
That was the director, Steven Soderbergh. He directed it, and that's all I have to say. Steven Soderbergh. Good job. Thank you.
I've never even heard of him. Is that
seen plenty of his
surprising?
movies.
Okay.
No, you've
Well,
seen
I'm
plenty
gonna
of
look him
his
up.
movies.
I probably have. I hope so. If not, I gotta catch up. All right, man. What you got at 6?
Oh, I'm on my 7. So that's where I put Emily the
I broke it
Criminal.
up.
You're good. That's where I put Emily the Criminal.
Absolutely love that one.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I fell in love with Aubrey Plaza because of, what's it called? It's like Ibiza Goes West or something. Ingrid Goes West. And it's just, she's a phenomenal actress. She's a comedian, and for her to play this serious role that she did, I really love. And I really like the way the end of the film pretty much ties together her arc, as she didn't do anything. She didn't really care, you know? And that's all full circle. And it makes it a hard truth to swallow, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. They really focused on her character and basically just honed in on her. And Aubrey Plaza is an excellent actress, like you said. One of my favorite, absolutely up there. Other movies to mention, Ingrid Goes West, another great one. Black Bear. I thought Child's Play. It was a funny movie, actually, the reboot. And enjoyed her in that too.
Yeah, the reboot Child's Play was enjoyable.
Yeah, I thought it was just funny. It was a good time. It was just like, a goofy film, and it's not like anything like the original Child's Play, but the AI technology take was, something fun to bring to the screen. But yeah, anyways, that's
I feel like it was a little bit more realistic in the Child's Play, but yeah, you're right, that's off topic. Tell me, what was your favorite part of Emily the Criminal? What was the thing that just made you love it the most?
I'd say just seeing how these different characters' dynamics are in their life, the type of challenges they are facing, and the type of, personal challenges as well. Outside of just the crime, there's a lot of, crisis with all the characters, and the way they execute it, you could really tell through their emotion that, what exactly they're going through, how they're feeling. The expression is there. You're engaged. You're in the movie.
I totally agree with that wholeheartedly. I mean, Emily the Criminal for me it didn't just it did really good at showing you that, hey, people have problems you don't see,
Absolutely, behind closed doors. And Emily was.
That's why I had to put it on here.
She was a badass too. She really was.
I mean, when it came down to it, she was gonna do whatever she needed to do,
The ending. I'm not gonna spoil it.
Oh, that ending
was pretty cool.
Was incredibly tense, and I was like, I loved it. I don't want to speak.
They didn't have to even put it in the film, but they kind of were outside the box. They're like, all right, it makes sense.
And I think that just gave it the. Go ahead.
No, I was just, I don't know if it was in the first script originally. I wonder if they kind of hitched that ending on set.
I mean, I hope they did, because it was very artistic. It was just one of those things where you have to just get the feel of everything and just be like, oh, yep, now we got to do that. And I think that the way that they left it was perfect. I don't want to see anything else. I don't want to see a sequel. Just let Emily be now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's a one and done, standalone. However, the ending, I do think it could have taken another route, believe it or not, and the unexpected route. It just could have been.
What's your take on the ending?
I think the ending was perfect. However, I think if it did end, with a shocking, devastating turn where, she gets caught up in this act, that would have had a lot of shock value. But I'm glad they took this route. I was rooting for her character.
honestly, I know this sounds really messed up, but I really wanted them to kill Emily off at the end, just like she's like, you know what I mean?
It would have been wild.
Just
I
like,
mean, just and
like
it shows you.
she
I mean, the
walks out of the
brutality.
bathroom.
The brutality, man, of you're a criminal. Those consequences are serious.
And the type of crime they were in was not like super heavy in drugs and violence. Like, it shows any crime can lead down. You don't know what could happen. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Unfortunately, we've had some.
Oh God, hiding in an alleyway.
Good times. Yeah.
Great times.
So, never have to worry about law enforcement. Yeah, they were not committing petty crimes in that movie.
But let's keep going and let me hear your number 6.
Bodies.
Oh, okay. So this one did not make my cut.
Damn. Okay.
It's my number 11. Okay.
Okay. That's close.
So it just barely.
Honorable mention.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I just thought.
Tell me about Bodies.
I thought it was hysterical. I really liked the acting. At first, I was actually hesitant. I like A24 movies in general, but the way it kind of broke off, I thought it would have been a little bit too much like pop vibe for my liking. However, it really engaged me, and I thought it was funny and exciting. I wouldn't say it's necessarily a horror movie. Not like, maybe even, I guess you could say, a slasher. And I like slashers too, every now and then. Pete Davidson's character, his acting was great. He's, Pete Davidson, he always seems like he plays himself, but in this movie, he kind of plays an asshole. And he nails it.
Yeah, okay. So,
God,
the twist at the end of that movie had my jaw on the floor.
Oh my goodness, man. I was absolutely hysterical.
I was dying of laughter afterwards. I was like, no way, that all just happened because of that. No,
yeah.
You know what?
No, I had actually thought about it towards the end. I kid you not. It wasn't a complete surprise. I think like literally minutes before I was like, wait a second.
When they started digging around in the mud, I was like, okay, I know what's gonna happen.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was a point, but really, really good movie in my opinion. I didn't know where this would fall on my list, really. I think it could go behind some of the other movies, but A24, I was impressed. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, A24 I have a A24 movie really, really high on my list, so I love A24. They're one of the best companies in the game right now.
Agreed, yes sir.
But, I mean, I gotta say, great pick. I love the movie. I wish it was on my list. Like, I want it to be on my list, but there just wasn't room, and, sorry, Bodies.
Close enough. What about you, man? Passing the baton.
Alright, so my number 6 is actually Glass Onion. Have you gotten a chance to check this one out yet?
Yes, sir. And I actually love it. This one came out late, 2022.
Yeah, it just barely sneaks on there, but Rian Johnson, man, that movie was good. And it was so smart that it was dumb. You know what I mean?
Kind of. I mean, I thought it was just mainly like not too serious, and it definitely had a twist and turn. It was kind of like a wild adventure. I liked the first one as well, Knives Out. I thought Knives Out probably was in my top 10 that year, believe it or not. The crazy story about
Knives Out 4 times. I've watched Knives Out 4 times. I don't remember anything from it because I was so blitzed.
Jesus. Well, I would say you gotta watch it again. Don't get too blitzed. Unless you enjoyed it blitzed. But yeah, no, I
I
went to
didn't
actually see.
because I don't remember.
I went to see that film in theaters, and I didn't have an ID, and they didn't let me see a rated R film. I forgot what other film I was trying to see, but I was like, "Fuck it, Knives Out," and I just went in there. I actually had they didn't even let me in. With that PG-13 ticket, and I was like, "Knives Out." I'm like, okay, word. And I was impressed. I was probably shoved in the theater too, though, so I ran it back a few other times.
I mean, I really liked Glass Onion for the fact that the characters that were in the film, the actors played them perfectly like their characters would be in real life. Like Dave Bautista plays that super far right, misogynistic, masculine dude to an amazing T. It was great. It was
True.
wonderful. I
The
love
film
that.
really feels real.
You like you were saying with Emily the Criminal, it gave you you felt like you were in the film because of the acting, and Daniel Craig really, really, really brought it into that. And on the flip side, I really like how the first half of the film tells you everything that's going to happen, but it doesn't. You know.
Mm. Yeah, absolutely. A lot of the twists and turns definitely caught me there. And I thought the sense of humor was really great. It was just a very, I don't know, it wasn't, Seth Rogen type humor. It was very developed humor. I think a lot of people could, share that humor like it's in common with others. But let me see here.
So that would, yeah. What's your number 5?
Okay, controversial one here. I heard a lot of people really didn't like this one. And it is Nope. Jordan Peele's Nope.
Okay, you can crucify me now because I still haven't seen it because I don't want to spend money to rent it. I'm a cheapskate.
Hey, that's wise of you, though. Yeah, Lord knows. I know a lot
You
of people
gotta
who
fill
like
me in a
it.
little bit about it.
All right. Well, I'm assuming you would have seen Get Out.
One of my favorite horror movies ever, yes.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. I went into this film with low expectations, really. I did like Get Out, but I'm no like Jordan Peele fanboy. um, and I really had a hard time understanding some of it the first screening, but and also the ending. I do think it was very controversial. A lot of things were controversial in that film, but I like how it was unpredictable and it wasn't afraid to do different things. Like not at all. It just
Well, I
stabbed.
mean, if it's this high, if it's this high on your list, and knowing your taste in films, it's got to be something really good. So,
Well, I
you
mean, I'm
know,
kind of
I
tripping.
gotta
I
check it
guess
out, man.
I think it could fall off like this list, no doubt. I don't know. It's just the second time I screened it, and I liked it a lot. And I don't know. It's something about
Yeah.
Jordan Peele, the way he directs his films. I guess. I mean, so far he has a good resume with me.
I mean, I really want to see it. I mean, he directs Daniel Kaluuya, however you say his name. I can't pronounce that last name, but he directs him so well, and he got a great performance out of him and Get Out, and I really want to see it happen again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Back to you, brother.
All right. So we're gonna go right back to you because my number 5 spot is where I put Barbarian. So we're back to you for your number 4.
Okay. Number 4. It is Pearl.
It's what?
It is Pearl.
Alrighty. Tell me about Pearl. If you want to spoil it, go for it.
All right. I can't
tell me
spoil
about
it,
Pearl.
really. I was very excited. High expectations for Pearl when it was about to be released. I thought X was a solid film. I didn't think I deserved all the hype, but I definitely wanted to see the sequel. See Mia Goth. Heard her performance was great. And it absolutely was. It was one of the best performances I've seen in a long time. It's a good one. It actually did frighten me a little bit. I ain't gonna lie. And I'm not easily spooked in horror films. And I don't like. I'm glad it didn't take itself too seriously. In a sense.
Yeah, see, that's one thing that I really liked about X was it knew what it was doing, and it wasn't going to do something. It wasn't going to try to take itself seriously. So I'm really excited to see what Pearl has, and we're supposed to be getting the third movie in the trilogy this year. I think it comes out this fall. So you can sign me up to buy tickets for that right away. As soon as they go on sale,
I may see that one in theaters. Well, anyways, what's your 4?
Well, this is where I put Kimmy. Kimmy is my number 4.
Yeah, okay.
We already talked about Kimmy a lot. All I want to say about it is that there is a very crisp look to the film. The cinematography gives it a very crisp feel, and that just pushes it over the edge, and that's why it's so high on my list.
True. Totally agree.
So I guess, we're back to you for your number 3.
Hopping on here, okay. Yo, man, we matched on some movies. I got Emily the Criminal.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Yes, sir.
I mean,
I didn't expect at first to put it that high, and then actually looking in retrospect throughout all of 2022 that I could remember, I would say it was up there on this one. And we already touched on that one. Aubrey Plaza was great.
Yeah. Aubrey Plaza, amazing. So my number 3, I think you have it on your list, is The Menu. I just want to start by saying that Last Night in Soho by Edgar Wright with Anya Taylor-Joy last year was my favorite movie that came out in 2021. So
I absolutely
in 2022 to see Anya Taylor-Joy at the head, thank you. Everyone hated on it, but Last Night in Soho, beautiful.
I thought it was incredible. Isn't it the director Edgar Wright? Or am I mistaken?
Yeah, Edgar Wright.
Yeah, absolutely. Just amazing.
Edgar Wright's my favorite film director, so I went and saw it as soon as it came out. But when I saw The Menu, I was really intrigued by it, and I looked at the trailer, and I thought they were going to be like feeding them humans or something. This movie is not that at all. And this movie is so relatable to anyone who has ever worked in a kitchen that it makes it scary as shit to think about the ideas that are going on in the film. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I actually was thinking about how you're quite a cook yourself, and I thought this was going to make the cut on your list. I did like The Menu a lot. Nothing like the trailer, like you said. Not anything I expected off of the trailer. And it was a good satire, for sure. I usually don't fall for satire all that much. It's not one of my comedic preferences, but I thought it was on point. The acting was great, too. Anya Taylor-Joy.
She knocked it out of the park. I also think that Ralph Fiennes, he plays Voldemort. He plays a more sadistic bad guy and antagonist in The Menu than he did playing Voldemort, and that's pretty hard. Like, this guy was sadistic as fuck.
Absolutely.
It almost made it too hard to watch,
Absolutely.
But I don't want to say too much on The Menu. If there's anything else you want to say.
It did not make my list.
So we're going to...
Believe it or not. It did not make my list.
Odd.
However, it probably falls at 11. Come on. It's like right out there. I thought it was great. But yeah, I'm moving on. I have another one that you already mentioned. and it is Glass Onion. Great movie. I think maybe this would be lower on the list if I had seen other movies more recently, because this is kind of fresh in my mind, but I do think it was amazing. And as we said, top 10 maybe. What about you? Oh,
So for my number 2,
yes.
Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Wow. Okay.
Absolutely loved it.
I thought it was good.
Have you seen it?
Yes, I have. I think I saw it over Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I had to watch this movie 3 times to fully get everything that was going on. But I'm gonna throw a little conspiracy theory out there real quick before I talk about the movie. If you didn't know, Joe and Anthony Russo, the guys who made Captain America Civil War, The Winter Soldier, and Avengers Infinity War, and Endgame, they made this movie. They produced it. They didn't direct, but they produced it, and they were the driving force behind it. And they are in talks to do another multiversal movie for Marvel called Avengers Secret Wars. So I think they did this movie just to get a feel for how to work with the multiverse. I think they nailed it. This movie is funny. It's hysterical.
Why
I laughed so hard.
What is your sense of comedy? Because we were talking earlier about satire, and there's other sorts of comedy, like Seth Rogen comedy, just crude comedy. And what did you think of this comedy? In this film?
You have so they balanced gross out comedy and physical humor perfectly. Like the scene where the dude's trying to sit on a butt plug trophy. They're not saying anything, but you're watching it and it's fucking hysterical. And then right afterwards, you watch a full kung fu fight with someone with a big old swinging dick with a fucking butt plug in.
The action sequences were incredible. The thing is, you said you had watched it 3 times, and that was the problem I think I had. I think if I gave it another viewing, I may like it more, because it was just very, very high tempo, quick film with a lot going on, a lot of themes. And it's engaging, however. It kind of left me a little lost at times. But I loved it still. That one is close to my 10, undoubtedly.
I mean, I enjoy this movie more and more every time I watch it. It gets better and better. And I just, what you were saying, the action scenes, back what you were saying earlier, you can see, with Kimmy, you can see the action scenes very well. It's very crisp, very clear. You can see what's going on. It doesn't.
The way they unfold, they put the viewer kind of just they flow through the action sequences really well. It's not a bunch of shaky cam and horrible angles, just blurred shots. The special effects were great too. Great, and Jamie Lee Curtis's character. Had me geeking. Loved it.
Especially at the end, I feel like a teenager again.
Absolutely hilarious.
But I really like the way that it sent the whole story. The most important part of it is very simple. Even though there's really complex stuff going on, it's very simple, and it's actually a heartwarming movie at the end. A really warm movie about child and parents and just family. I really like it.
Yeah, I love the connection between the daughter and the mom as well. I think that's worth throwing out there.
Okay, I'm not going to say anything, but I will just say the one scene that is completely silent is one of the most emotional scenes in the entire movie.
Which scene was that?
When they're on the cliff. I'll tell you about it afterwards. I don't.
There was so much stuff in that movie. I'm literally just blanking on you so much because there was so much going on.
Okay. All right. So for the audience, if you have not seen this movie, go ahead and skip forward about 30 seconds. All right. spoiler warned. I love the scene where they are just rocks talking to each other.
Oh, absolutely. That scene was adorable.
And then the mom literally makes a dirty joke. It was hysterical. It rounded off a character arc for all of them. I liked it.
Absolutely. That was a great scene. That had my entire family laughing. Definitely.
All right. So before we reveal our number ones, why don't you go ahead and list me your 10 through 2? Just real quick. Just name them off real quick. And then give me your number 1.
All right. As of right now, my top 10, like overall.
Yeah, go 10 through 2, and then give me your
before
number
the premiere.
Talk
Premiere number 1. All right. So at number 10, shockingly, is The Lost City. Number 9. Well, actually, The Lost City actually falls off. It's an honorable mention. I'm gonna have to switch this up a little bit. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, The Lost City had to fall off. I'm looking at my top 10. It's not going to make it, but it's an honorable mention. It's the only rom-com I think that has made my my list besides like Zack and Miri Make a Porno. It was very
so funny.
And I like the chemistry between Tatum and Bullock, but that's off topic here. Okay, I'm going to go to my top 10. So at 10 I have The Black Phone. 9 I got Babylon. 8 I got Kimmy. 7 I got Bodies. 6 I got Okay. Nope. One could slip a little bit, but I guess I'll just leave it put. If I gave another viewing for all of these movies, I would say it probably falls on this list. At 5 I got Pearl. At 4 I got Emily the Criminal. At 3 I got Glass Onion. And at 2, Doctor Strange.
Oh, what? Did we miss one of yours? Crap.
Yes, I made a mistake with my list. Like I said, The Lost City had to fall because I was actually thinking, you mentioned like the Marvel Universe, and I had to kick one off the list.
Okay, let's talk about Doctor Strange real quick before we get to your number 1 then.
All right. Doctor Strange was my favorite Marvel film of 22. That shit was definitely actually one of my favorite Marvel movies of all time, but that's a debate, actually. I really liked the special effects. I thought they were incredible. I thought the plot was good. Yeah. It wasn't too serious. I thought Scarlet Witch was a badass antagonist. Or what do you call her? Was she necessarily acting like a villain?
Oh yeah, definitely. In this film, she did not care what happened to anyone else. She just wanted what she wanted. That's a villain for you.
True. Yeah, she was dangerous. A great movie.
So it took everything in me not to switch Black Panther with Doctor Strange 2 because the enjoyability factor. I enjoyed Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness more than I enjoyed Black Panther Wakanda Forever. The reason why Black Panther Wakanda Forever made my list is because of the honoring. It honored Chadwick Boseman and his legacy. You know what I mean?
Facts. I'm gonna view that one next too. Within my next probably 5 movies, I'm gonna run that one up. And yeah, that is unfortunate. The tragic passing of him. And I'm glad they actually, probably moderated him. And I think it was great they followed through with making the film as well, rather than scrapping it. Because that's not what I don't think that's what he would have won.
All right, this is the moment everyone's been waiting for, Thomas. Your number 1 film of 2022.
So I said it earlier. Is that a problem? Before I give another drum roll. What's up?
No, you're good.
All right, drum roll,
is it
please.
emergency?
Yes, it is emergency. It honestly breaks my heart you haven't seen it. I might actually let you borrow. Well, yeah, I mean, you can borrow my Amazon account, and you can watch it if you ever had the opportunity to. I think it is very, very engaging. I think the main character's friendship is relatable to a lot of people's friendships, like I said, and I thought they had a great chemistry on screen, probably the best I've seen all year, and I was very impressed. It was a Prime exclusive.
Like I said, this is actually on my watch list tonight. I am writing a review about it for my blog because you told me, hey, no one's heard about this movie and it's fantastic, and I'm like, gotta watch it. So I'm super, super, super hyped to watch it. After this podcast is when I'm going to be watching it. So, are you ready for me to piss you off?
What we got here at number 1?
All right, so I'll go through my 10 through 2 real quick. At number 10, I have Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Number 9, I have Smile. At 8, I have The Batman. 7, I have Emily the Criminal. 6, Glass Onion. 5, Barbarian. 4, Kimmy. 3, The Menu. 2, Everything Everywhere All at Once. And my number 1 film of 2022, directed by Ty West, starring Mia Goth and Jenna Ortega, it's X.
Okay. Wow. Holy smokes.
I told you.
Wow, that was the film that I think had me the most excited when I went into theaters and watched it. And I think that was the problem I may have had with my viewing with X. Also, I was fucking sloshed. So I had to give it another viewing. I couldn't help but laugh at the dynamic, the creepy grandma dynamic. I thought that shit was hilarious to me. I thought some of the shots could have been better. I thought A24 was trying to do a little too much with some of them, like the close-up stabbing with the grandmother.
Yeah.
Not even grandmother. Just the old. Well, is she a grandma? Just the old hag, the naked old hag, running around, trying to, get some action from magazines. But that was just my first take on it. Then I kind of watched it again. I appreciated it a little more. And I'd say it's definitely my top 20.
The reason why I like X so much is, if you go back to 70s horror films, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Hills Have Eyes, Halloween, those were all grindhouse exploitation films, and that's where we get horror movies from. And the first ones were the ones that made sense. The sequels didn't ever make sense. So I was really, really, really happy that we got a single story, just simple right then and there, what's going on. And they copied every single other horror film. And they took elements from all of them. It didn't take itself seriously. And you can... the way the film looks, it was actually shot with 35mm film, so it has that graininess to it. So it really feels like you're watching a piece of cinema, a piece of
it goes
art,
back to the artistic A24 lens. They shoot films with different lenses. It's incredible, very artistic, and I appreciate that a lot in movies. And I think they're right now unquestionably the most artistic studio.
Oh, unquestionably. You got Hereditary, Midsommar. You got so many great films coming out of A24. I can't wait to see more.
Even Bodies. I think that was another good one.
Oh, yeah, it was an A24 movie, too. Have you seen Mid-90s?
Yeah, that one had a different feel for an A24 movie, though, I will say.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like one for some odd reason.
Well, Jonah Hill directed that movie.
I had no clue.
But, yeah. But thank you guys, the audience, for listening in this week. Thank you, Thomas, for joining me. I hope that you'll join me again for another top 10 list and some other stuff that we can talk about on the podcast. Love to talk to you, man. Thank you so much for coming on. And for the listeners, thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of the Weekly Double Down. Had a great time discussing our top 10 movies with you. And thank you so much for coming on, Thomas, like I said. One last thing before we go, I'd like you guys, as the listeners, make sure you go check out our coinciding blog that we have. You can check that out at the doubledownblog.blogspot.com, or you guys can follow us on Twitter at doubledownblog, where we'll post our opinions and important updates and leaks throughout the week. Just once again, thanks for listening, guys. Had a really great time discussing our top 10 films, and we'll see you next week.
Bleed, bleed.